Hello children, today we start a new topic, circles. Circles, as you know, it is in two places. One, it's in mensuration, which generally you do in class 9. Class 10 mensuration, we have sphere, cone and cylinder, so where we see surface area and volume. So circle is there in mensuration also, and it is there in geometry. In class 10, here we will see circles in geometry, okay, which is little different from what is circle in mensuration. So there are few concepts. Okay, if you want to see more concept about it, you have to see my class 9 video, where we have a lot of properties in chord, which is a little different from what we have in 10, but they give you a fundamental base to do few things in class 10. So you need to have a good knowledge of class 9 circles, what you have done in geometry also. So first thing is, what is a chord? A chord is a line segment joining any 2 points on the circumference of the circle. So any 2 points. So remember line segment, if you have studied class 7 nicely. Line segment is different from line in a way that line segment has a definite length. Children, line goes from it goes endlessly in both the direction. Okay, so line segment means fixed length. So chord is a fixed length. Okay, it is a fixed length line which is called line segment, joining any 2 parts, any 2 points on the circumference of the circle. When a chord passes through the center, then it is called a diameter. So if you see, if the chord passes through the center, okay, then if this is the center, then if a chord passes through center, then it is called a diameter. So diameter is a special case of chord where the chord passes through center. So anywhere you have, children, a line joining 2 parts of 2 points on the circumference, we call it a chord. Okay, it can be like this also. If you have, this is also a chord XY. Okay, so these are all chords. They join 2 points on the circumference of the circle. Next word. So this is a chord which you have seen in class 9, and there are some other chord related property in class 9, like perpendicular to chord, bisect the chord. Okay, so like that you have 2-3 theorem in class 9. Next, what is an arc? So class 10 we see another concept called arc of a circle. It is a part of circumference. Remember, arc, chord is a line, children, straight line, whereas arc is a part of a circumference, means it is curved. Okay, so this area, if you see APB, this curved line is called minor arc. Minor means small, and this part, children, is called the major arc. Okay, so arc is a curved line. Remember, this is a chord, AB is a chord, a line, and this is an arc. So arc is a part of circumference. So if you have done mensuration nicely in class 9, you will know this full thing is called circumference, this which is called perimeter in other geometrical shapes. For triangle and square and all, we call it perimeter, but in case of circle we have a term called circumference. So this is full circumference. A part of the circumference is called arc when it is smaller. So if you don't take the diameter, so here we have both equal arc, but when you take a chord anywhere other than passing through center, so what you will have, children, one arc will be bigger than the other. So smaller one is called minor arc and bigger one is called the major arc. Next concept, children, is called a segment. Okay, and there is something related which you will see in mensuration chapter called a sector. I am not going into that. So maybe in my next video I'll try to tell you what is a sector, because here we don't need the sector. Okay, but it is a very important thing for mensuration. So segment, a part of the circle between the arc. So this area, children, if between the arc and the chord, okay, or you can say bounded by. So this area between chord and arc, part of a circle between an arc and a chord, this is an arc, and this is called, this area, okay, is called minor segment, and the other thing, this is called major segment. Okay, so this area, this part is called major segment, and this is minor segment, and this is major segment. I was telling you about sector. If you want to see, children, sector, you have this chord does not pass through the center. Sector, you will have something touching the center of the circle. Understood? So if I talk about this sector, see how it is different from a segment. This is a sector, and if you want to have area of this is 1/4 of area of this triangle. So that we have an area 1/4 pi r square. Okay, or another way, if you want to find area, this is theta by 360 into pi r square, where r is the radius. So theta here is 90 degree. So area of this is 1/4. So 90 upon 360. So this will give you 1/4. Then you do area of circle, pi r square. Okay. So you have your angle of the sector into total angle into pi r square gives you this. So that is sector, children. Okay, this we see in mensuration. Okay, so this part I told you about what is a sector and how sector is different from a segment. So you can rewind the video and so go through the concept. You can play back and try to understand each concept because they are very important. All these three: chord, an arc, and segment of a circle. So please pause the video and copy. So next concept we have, children, what we call cyclic quadrilateral. Cyclic quadrilateral is a quadrilateral which is inscribed. Inscribed means, children, something which is inside. We will see more of this. So inscribed circle means when a quadrilateral is inscribed in a circle means the quadrilateral is inside. Okay, sometimes triangle is inside. Okay, so when a quadrilateral is inscribed in a circle, so you have four-sided figure, any four-sided figure. So this is called a cyclic quadrilateral. So same way here, see. And another point, you will see all the four vertices, children. These are called vertices where two line meets. So this PQRS are vertices. So this is also a cyclic quadrilateral. Why? It is inside a circle. Second thing, see, this is also a quadrilateral inside a circle. But all the four vertices are on the circumference. All the four vertices on the circumference. And if you see here, this vertex, okay, is not on the circumference. So this is not a cyclic quadrilateral. This is not a cyclic quadrilateral. It's a quadrilateral, but it is not a cyclic quadrilateral because all four vertices are not on the circumference of the circle. So with this basic idea, children, we start 4-5 basic theorem and we see what it is. Children, we go to the very first theorem of this chapter is, so different books you will see, children, they have different numbering. I am calling it 1. You may have some book which calls it theorem 5. Some other book will have some this point theorem. So I am not interested in that. Main thing is what we should be interested is what is the basic idea of the theorem. So very first theorem in this circle chapter is angle at the center. So if an arc, okay, subtend angle at the center as well as at any other point, remaining point on the circumference. So write wording, you see the book, children. If I want to write all the theorem will become too big here. My idea is to give you concept. Please, you have a standard textbook. See any textbook you have which is dealing with circle, you will allow all this. So this is how we write the theorem in short. Okay, so when we do the sum also, but if you want the full wording, please see your book and follow that. So angle at the center is double. So an arc of a circle subtends an angle at the center at O, which is generally the center. Suppose the arc is AB. I told you what is arc. Okay, and ACB is angle that arc subtends at any other part of the any remaining part of the circumference. So what this theorem says, angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. So this figure may look like this. Angle at the center, let this be y. This is center, children. So angle at the center is twice the angle. So when you do the sum, now you have to see very clearly in this chapter. That's why geometry is so beautiful, I say. Angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference. It may look like this. Angle at the center, okay, is double the angle at the circumference. If this is A, this is 2A. So this angle may be more than 180 degree also. So suppose this is 100, this will be 200. So this was our theorem 1. So just I told you, generally we see this in the book. This 2 also follows the same theorem. Then we move on to theorem 2. Next we move on to 4 very important theorem, children. Okay, so this is theorem 2, this is our theorem 3, this is 4, and this is 5. Okay, because 1 already I have told you. So this is second. What happens? Angle on the same segment, children. So we use word segment. So this is the segment I told you in the first part of this video. So angle on the same segment. So they are on the same chord also, it can be said, but we use the word segment. Okay, because this is the basic thing. AB. If you see, AB is your basic segment over here. So angle on the same segment, okay, they are equal. So lot of sums we get in ICSE on this. Next is this theorem 3 is a special case of theorem 1. So see, theorem 1 says angle at the center is double that angle of the at the circumference. Okay, or opposite we can say, I forgot to tell you, that angle at the center is double or angle at the circumference is half. Okay, so we have already seen that angle, just I am telling you over here, if it is the center of the circle and this is the circumference, so angle at the center is double the angle at the circumference, or we can say angle at the circumference is half the angle at the center, which an arc subtends. Okay, so here if this is 2x, this is x, so you know a straight line angle, this is straight line. So AOB is the diameter. Okay, semicircle is on a diameter, so angle in a semicircle. So this is 180, so this is half of that. So angle in a semicircle is 90 degree. Okay, so this is the proof. So this is, I am telling you, is a special case of theorem 1 where angle at the circumference is half the angle at the center. So 180 is half, this is 90. Then I taught you what is a cyclic quadrilateral. So cyclic quadrilateral, children, has 2 very important properties. Okay, that is theorem 4 and theorem 5. Okay, theorem 4 and theorem 5. So I told you books numbering may be different, and please, if you want to see the real wording, please follow the book. Okay, next, opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral, both are based on cyclic quadrilateral. I told you when all the 4 vertices of a quadrilateral is on the circumference of the circle, this is called a cyclic quadrilateral. So opposite angles are supplementary, children, means this 2, okay, and this 2. So what do we have here? Angle ABC is equal to ADC. Okay, ABC is equal to ADC because they are opposite angles. So in a cyclic quadrilateral, what happens? Opposite angles are supplementary, means they are not equal. When you add them, children, they are not equal, remember. You will get 180 degrees. Supplementary angles means sum of 2 angles are 180 degrees. Sum of 2 angle is equal to 180 degrees. So these 2 are not equal, remember. These 2 are supplementary. Next thing, if you see other 2 angles, children, angle DAB or BAD plus this angle. Okay, so here, and opposite to that is BCD. they are also 180 degree. Okay, these two angle, so suppose I call it A and B, and this is C and D. So A plus B, better I follow the order A, B, suppose we call it by, since AB we have used for the vertices, so let us call X, Y, Z, okay, and W, X, Y, Z. So what you will see, children, W, first see this angle, these two, they are opposite angles of cyclic quadrilaterals. So X plus Z is 180, and next is this two, W, angle W plus angle Y is 180 degree. Okay, so this is what we have. Opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral are supplementary, they are not equal, children. And the last theorem, if you see exterior angle, this is called exterior angle, is equal to interior opposite angle. Okay, so this angle, if this is your A, B, C, D, E, then this angle is called exterior angle. If you have done in triangle, just I'll give you a little comparison over here. So exterior angle of a cyclic quadrilateral is equal to opposite interior angle. Okay, so you copy, and just I'll explain to you about little bit, reminding you about the triangle. So here we come to the last part. So once more, exterior angle is equal to opposite interior angle. If you remember, just I am reminding you about what we had in triangle. So remember, just don't get confused. If triangle, this is X and this is Y, exterior angle is equal to sum of interior opposite angle, children. In a triangle, exterior angle is equal to sum of interior opposite angle. So this angle ACD is this, so interior opposite, these two are opposite to this, and their interior means inside. So this was about interior angle. Exterior angle is equal to 2 interior opposite angle. So exterior angle is equal to the sum of 2 interior opposite angle. But here, children, exterior angle is equal to the opposite interior angle. Okay, interior opposite angle or opposite interior angle, whatever you said, this angle is equal to this. So this was the basic idea about the theorems, children. So this was my part 1 of the video, and next part 2, based on this theorem, I will solve at least 5 years ICSE questions, basic question and easy questions, so that you will understand all this theorem more clearly, and we will see application of this, all the theorem, when we solve the questions. So thank you, children, for watching this video lesson.